Hello everyone, Dave here again, and so today is Thursday, October the 25th, so HalCon is tomorrow. So we're basically at the last day before I start running my games, and so I thought I would just show. There's been a couple more things that I've done that I've created since then for the event. The last things that I really need to do is I do need to go to Staples and print a few things off. I printed a bunch of stuff off with my home printer, but I don't want to completely drain the ink out of that because ink is expensive. So I like to be able to have the ability to print a few things off at home in the event that I need them. So, but there are a few things that I got printed off here. So I need to go print off the rest of that stuff and then just kind of search for the miniatures that I need, and I'm going to be using a few of the actual maps for D&D or other things, and some dungeon tiles. So I got to get all those together, but that's something that I can do later on tonight. So we do our walkthrough for the volunteers. It's a mandatory thing to get familiar with where things are located in the venue and sort of what to do, where to go when you first get there. But anyway. So like I said, I've just got a few things here that I've done as well. So I have, I've already shown the Emerald Imperium, the ship that I made for the Starfinder Skittershot adventure that I'm going to be running. So I got that done. So as far as the stuff that I've printed off, so I printed off all of the characters for my first level adventure, Larceny and Baldur's Gate. So there's all 7 characters here. So I got those printed off, and like I said, after I did that, the printer ink started to go down to about the halfway mark. So I don't want to push things too far there, but I've got all the characters for that. I also am going to pick up some folders, just some cheap pocket folders, so I can organize all these things. And then I've got the Larceny and Baldur's Gate adventure printed off. This is the adventure that I ran originally for Autism Nova Scotia. So I got all that. There's one, like the printer is acting a little bit weird. I don't know what's going on, but for the map, it made it way more blue than it's supposed to be. But I can still make out the features and everything, so I don't really care that much. It's just weird they do that. I think it might be because I have the toner saver mode activated, but I can still see everything, and I drew the map so I know where everything is regardless. So, and when I actually go to run the adventure, I'm probably going to try to have the tiles set up for the map as much as possible and just sort of go from there, because it just makes things easier as you're running. So I got basically everything that I need for the Larceny and Baldur's Gate. All I need to do is get the miniatures rounded up that I needed, and the dungeon tiles, which is like the 4th edition master sets that came out for D&D Essentials. I take them out of the city and the dungeon one. So I got basically everything I need there. I also printed off my Eye of the Titan one-shot. So I printed the whole thing off, even though I don't need the character creation stuff, because that was essentially for creating characters for the purpose of the one-shot that I actually ran on my YouTube channel. So if you want to see how that adventure is, that video is somewhere on the channel, so we got that. Now for the Eye of the Titan adventure, there are several locations that I need to use. So one of them is going to be a Dragon's Lair, which I have a map that I can use for that. One of the maps that came with one of my large, massive dragon miniatures. So I've got that, and then there's the final encounter, which I can probably just do on the adventure grid, but I think I might have a map that'll work sort of for that as well. But there's also 2 other locations where encounters can take place in. So I actually drew out the maps for them as well. I did that last night until about 2 o'clock in the morning. So the first one is the Tip Tankard Inn. So this is the 2nd level. I'm not going to bother drawing the 1st level because as part of the setup for the adventure, the characters will have either a private or semi-private room, and will not be using the large common room on the bottom floor. So the encounter that takes place is going to take place pretty much exclusively up here. And again, I decided to go and try to make it a bit colorful, just because a lot of these maps do tend to be kind of bland. Or just have just a few colors that they feature. The same decision that I made with the Skitter Shot one. I just wanted to make this a little bit more visually pleasing to look at. So we've got the second floor here. So it has a set of stairs. It's accessible basically from the bottom floor. So instead of having a set of stairs inside the tavern, basically the upper floor was built on as sort of it was built on top essentially. So they have the outdoor access, and it comes up. You got the private rooms here. So they have like a bed, a table, a dresser, a footlocker to sort of put your stuff in. And each of the private rooms also has basically a bath. So there's like the tub, and then there's a fireplace where you can heat up water, and there's like a well and stuff just outside. Or the staff at the tavern can also bring water up for you to heat up. So each of the two, so there's two different chimneys there, and the fireplace is on sort of either side, kind of thing. I had one of them filled with water just to sort of let people know what it is. So it looks a little bit more obvious, so I just kind of colored that one in. Had to have a messy bed. I just had to do it because I had so much fun drawing the other one, so we did that there as well. And then we've got the semi-private room. So you got the room with that has two beds in it. And so with this one, you have two rooms that have two beds, and then there's one room that has three beds. The two rooms with two beds has like a wooden sink basically. And I decided again to have one filled with water, just so you can kind of understand more just visually quickly by looking at it what it is. And so one of the rooms has a table and a couple of chairs, and then the other ones are a lot more sparse. So like the next room just has the beds and footlockers for each bed, and then the third one just has like the three beds in a row with the footlockers there as well. And as far as like going to the bathroom and stuff like that, I thought about trying to incorporate a way into it, but we'll probably just use like the chamber pot under the bed idea sort of thing. It's just one of the easier ways to do things. Alright, and this is probably going to be spoilers, so hopefully nobody watching this is actually planning on playing in the adventure at Halcon. I don't suspect there's too many people that watch this that are going to be there, although there have been a few that have said that they're going to be there, so that's actually pretty cool. So the next location, but I mean, as far as spoilers go, I mean, the adventure, I ran the full adventure on a live stream on my channel, so I mean, really, people can watch it if they wanted to. So I have the Temple of Amaunator. So Amaunator was the 4th edition god of light and like the god of the renewal and birth and stuff like that. Basically took over from Lathander, and I actually liked Amaunator a lot better. I just thought I just liked the sound of the god and everything. And there is some questionable artwork of Lathander in the 3rd edition deities and demigods, or sorry, faiths and pantheons for Forgotten Realms. So I always liked the Amaunator god. So when 5th edition came out, you had Lathander sort of re-emerge, but there was one of the Sundering books actually kind of brought up the notion of sort of a schism in the church between those who still worship Amaunator and those who are worshipping the returned Lathander. So I thought I would make that part of this adventure. And anyway, so we got the church here itself. I considered drawing like a second floor in, but I decided just to do everything on one floor for the purposes of just not being up until like 4 in the morning drawing maps. So we got basically the pews, and I know they don't look great, but they're benches basically for people to sit on. You've got this purple and gold carpet. So you got like the purple on the outer edge, and then you have like a thing of gold. I just, it's something that was really easy to do, really sort of quick and easy, but I think it actually looks all right. And it sort of goes back here. You have basically the podium where the priestess would stand, and she's got her book on there and a couple of candles that are sort of melted. And you just have like a curtain, and that's what that wavy line is supposed to be, that separates the public part of the church from the private part, where like the acolytes and the high priestess, where they sort of live and dwell. So let's just spin this around a little bit. We'll zoom back out. Actually, I forgot I zoomed in. So this is sort of like the living area. So what we have are just some bookshelves here, with just tables and benches for the acolytes to basically sit at and read over some of these tomes. You got 2 bookshelves there, and then you have some rooms for the acolytes. There's not a ton of them there, but basically what these are here. So this room, this room and this room, they have bunk beds. So like these parts here, these little things here, are meant to be like the ladders that lead up to the upper part. So you've got 2 sets of bunk beds in that room, and then you have, for one of the more senior acolytes, they have, you know, his own private room set aside, and then you have another room with again just 2 sets of bunk beds. And then there's just a really basic kitchen, so you got a fireplace there with where they have like a cauldron. They just make some pretty simple meals. They have a pantry just full of stuff, prep area, and then they have like a cupboard for their silverware and stuff like that. I actually do need to draw in. I should probably do that before I forget. I should draw in like a sink as well. But then again, you could also have the priests outside washing the stuff in like a barrel of rainwater or something, or whatever they create. So I'm not too worried about the living area too much, except like there's the potential for an encounter to be in there, and I just thought it'd be nice to have sort of that there. Then you have the high priestess, her office, basically her rectory, if for the proper term, I suppose. So she's got her large comfy chair there, her desk. She's got bookshelves, and then she's got like a shelf there with one of like the sacred texts, basically, of her order sort of laid out on it. And her office leads into her private bedroom. So it's just got her bed, her wardrobe, and a vanity with like sort of like a golden mirror type of thing. And just because it is a church, it's probably going to be really hard to see. And I didn't know how to do it, but I just went for it anyway. So these here, where you see like the different colors, those are just supposed to be like stained glass windows. So there's stained glass window there. And then you have whoops, at the front of the building as well. The living quarters doesn't have any windows, just for privacy. And the other side is symmetrical as well. So anyway, just thought I would sort of show the last of the stuff that I hand drew, horribly, but I hand drew. And yeah, all that's left is to print off the last few things. So I need to print off the characters for the Eye of the Titan adventure. I need to print off the characters for the Skittershot adventure. And then I need to just find the appropriate miniatures. So anyway, I just want to thank everyone who's actually taken the time to watch some of these preparation videos. They haven't been the most successful, but at the same time, I enjoy doing it, and for me, it's also something that I can go back on and just kind of look at what I ended up doing. Something tells me that if I do go to run games at HalCon next year, which is something that I definitely want to do, I will probably not try to run 4 separate games for 3 different role-playing systems, but we'll see how it goes. For those who actually also mentioned this, I just want to thank you for your support as well. My left knee is still bothering me a fair amount, so I'm gonna basically try to push through it. I really notice it the most when I'm going up and down stairs, or if I have my foot planted and I try to pivot on it, sort of thing, or if I'm taking my shoes off, because I'm one of those people who just like ties their shoes, double knots them, and then just slips them on and off. So I sort of notice it then. I do have a knee brace that I'm probably wearing at the event, and I'll have a pair of shorts on so I can just easily adjust the brace if I need to. And I've got some naproxen and stuff like that, Aleve, that will help me hopefully get through it. So I guess the real test will be walking down to Staples today and seeing how I feel when I get back from that. Anyway, again, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I will try to get some video footage from HalCon itself. It's going to be basically just Fender tables. There's a lot of things about videotaping, like recording people, and like having to get consent from everybody. So I'm going to focus mainly on just showing what's on the tables. But anyway, once again, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate all of your kind words and your support. And I will see you next time. Take care.